Hey everybody, welcome back to The Way Outdoors. It is 2021 and it's time for another backpacking trip. I'm about 15 minutes from the Wyoming border. I'm going to be staying the night at Jamie and Jones tonight, and tomorrow morning we'll head to Grand Teton National Park, pick up our permit. This is going to be a 4-day, 3-night trip, and I'm super excited for this. It is a little hazy down here, as you can see. I'll show you a little bit more as we get going into Wyoming, because the smoke is actually doing a really unique shift, and it's actually going up and almost over and around where we're going to be backpacking, which is kind of nice. There's a huge 300,000 plus acre wildfire in Oregon right now, and that's producing a lot of the smoke. There's some other wildfires in Idaho as well, and all that smoke is just blowing east towards the Tetons. I've got about another 7-hour drive to go here. First backpacking trip of 2021, Grand Teton National Park. Despite being stuck behind this truck, this area is looking really cool. Real rocky and sparse trees. It's pretty awesome. I like this kind of stuff. Entering Wyoming. The haze is getting a little bit better. A lot of construction, but the speed limit was 80 just a little bit ago. I am making pretty good progress here. I just went through Rock Springs, Wyoming, grabbed a little bit of lunch, got some gas, and I'm about 3 hours from Jamie and Jones' place. So I should show up there about 6 o'clock p.m. and we're gonna grill some food and drink some beer and just kind of hang out and catch up. We're gonna wake up pretty early tomorrow, I'm guessing around 5:30 or 6, and we'll be on our way to the visitor center to get our permits. Beautiful blue skies out here in Wyoming. I'm gonna be getting to my turnoff in about 5 minutes. Gonna be heading west and north. The haze from the fire is nearly non-existent now. All right, splitting off from 80. 80 continues to the left down to Salt Lake City, and I am headed on 30 west, which will ultimately lead me right near the Idaho and Wyoming border. There was a lot of truck traffic on 80, so I'm expecting there to be a lot less people on this highway. We'll see how it goes from here. I'm getting into a little more hill country here. I'm gonna be turning right, heading northbound, I think at a place called Pine Junction. This highway has been a really cool drive. I've gone through a couple little small towns, but there's barely anybody on the road at all. And I guess that's just what you get when you go through western Wyoming. This is really starting to look nice going through here. I had to stop and take a look here. This is beautiful. About 45 minutes out, I'll be dropping into Star Valley Ranch. This is the main street in the small town of Afton, Wyoming. The world's largest Elkhorn Arch. This place is pretty cool. Made the turn off, heading up to Jamie's. Should be there in just a couple minutes. Heading through the neighborhood. Pretty awesome area. A lot of ups and downs in here. Looks like they just got some rain. It showed some good precipitation today, but we're supposed to have great weather this whole trip. It is a hazy start to our first day here.
What's up?
It's been like 3 years, I think, since I did a trip with Jamie now. We are back in the FJ, just like old times, and we're heading up to Jackson right now. His wife Joan is behind us in another vehicle, so we can have a little shuttle going for the trailhead entrance and exit. It is a really interesting morning, really hazy, foggy out here. Jamie said he hasn't really seen this inversion layer this low before. We should be to Jackson probably maybe 45 minutes, hour, and gonna grab our permits there. I was gonna film yesterday when I got to their place, but we were just checking it out. My first time seeing their new house. Gave us a little tour, and we got down on some delicious ribeyes. Jamie had the smoker going, the pellet grill, and did some reverse sear ribeyes. They were fantastic, and the weather's looking good. nice and sunny, like partly cloudy through the day, I think. And I didn't really see any % chance of precipitation or anything. Got some coffee all doctored up with ghee, MCT, CBDs, some spices. What are the spices we got in the coffee?
A little like some chai spices. We got some clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon.
Yep. And with that butter and everything else, it makes it real nice. Pretty awesome coming in here.
This is Alpine.
Yeah.
It'll be $8.40 for you.
Thank you.
What kind of donuts again?
A mix of donuts.
Oh, I can
It's a
see those
donut
donuts.
hole.
Oh, there they are. So Jamie said getting some donuts here. There's also a gun shop. Get drive-through guns and donuts.
Hey, are we gonna split a dozen?
We got a dozen.
I gotta get my own dozen. I'll eat them all.
No, you can
Sun's coming out, breaking the haze a little bit. I'm grabbing some of these donuts.
Ooh, wait. A few napkins.
Yeah.
They let you donut free.
Ooh.
I thought we were getting donut holes. These are legit little baby donuts, assorted. Got sugar, frosting, powder, raspberry or huckleberry or strawberry, some chocolate. Just like that, the fog is lifted. Dude, that happened in a matter of seconds. So it was really hazy until maybe a minute ago. First views of the Tetons. We are here at the visitor center, about to grab our permit. Waiting in line here. A little bit of a line, but all the walk-in spots have been taken, so we're gonna stick with our original itinerary. That's the board with the spots, and they are all taken, but we already have a itinerary plan.
Don't shortcut the trails. Camp at least 200 feet from trails and water. Treat your drinking water.
Got our permit. On our way to Jenny Lake, and then back to the Death Canyon Trailhead to start. It has turned into a glorious morning. We are here at the Death Canyon Trailhead, about to start a 4-day, 3-night trip in the Grand Teton Wilderness. You know me.
Hey, I'm Jamie, and this is my wife now, Joan. We are excited to come out here. It's our first time backpacking in the area. It's gonna be awesome. We got good weather, good vibes, good food. It's gonna be great.
I actually did my very first backpacking trip was with Jamie and Joan and one other guy 5 years ago this week. So it's been a lot of fun. I haven't backpacked with Joan since then, since I've been doing all this filming stuff. I know they're both just ready to get out and have no problem pushing it and going the distance on hikes.
Cheers to 5 years of friendship and
Yeah.
backpacking and adventure. That's
You're
for
here.
sure.
Let's do it. We're 100 yards down the trail, and there's just a deer walking right here. Hopefully that's a good sign of animals to come. Of course we have bear spray. Known to be a lot of bears up here. We're about 1.2 miles in. This is the Phelps Lake overlook. I think we've already gained about 500 feet. Just drop packs taking the view of the lake here. So we are getting some views starting to open up here. We climbed about 500 feet to that overlook of the lake, and then we had to descend actually almost nearly all of it again. We're pretty much back down to the lake. But we're gonna be turning here and heading up Death Canyon. These walls are enormous. So this is Death Canyon here going to the right. Gonna be heading up right up in there. He knows about the food. He's been informed. So we are climbing up Death Canyon. It's some steep switchbacks. The view looking down really started Climbing back up. When I was calling about conditions, a ranger said there was significant downfall from an avalanche, but they'd cleaned it up for the majority. Heading on through. Don't get smacked.
Fell in the wind or a storm?
Yeah, it's like a fresh tree. Finally got views of the creek, river. It's flowing pretty good. So we haven't had access to the river yet if we needed water. I think we're all doing pretty good, but once we get up into the canyon and it kind of flattens out and there's trees, I think the creek will kind of meander through. Stopped here to filter some water and cool our heads off. About 4 miles in, it's really hazy down the canyon now. And we're gonna continue up these switchbacks. This canyon's starting to open up here. The Static Peak Divide Trail is gonna branch off to the right somewhere. Not sure, right here, or maybe this next little canyon off to the right. And it'll gradually climb up to the Death Canyon shelf. Tomorrow we'll be doing that. All right, we're getting into some nice creeks, pine trees, meadows. This is just gonna be absolutely delightful. Just found this shack. We're starting up the actual flat part of Death Canyon where the camping's gonna be. In fact, there's a trail junction right here. Big old marmot. He's coming this way. Going to the right takes you up Static Peak Divide, which allows access for Static Peak, and then it actually drops you off into the Alaska Basin. We are gonna be going straight and up Death Canyon to camp, and then tomorrow on the shelf into the Alaska Basin. So technically that way would get you there. Half mile to a mile, we should start seeing some campsites. And it's about a 4-mile stretch through Death Canyon where you can camp. The ranger, when we were at the visitor center, was saying that the upper parts of the canyon are better, you get open views, and there's a couple really good campsites up high. So we might shoot for that, but I'm sure a lot of other people got the same idea. Still are gonna find a great spot. Because of the permit system, it's not overcrowded, and I think everybody should be satisfied with a camp spot that they can get. There were some pretty severe avalanches which blocked the trail here. They have been doing really good work. Thank you, trail workers. So we're in Death Canyon in the camping zone now. We've probably seen maybe 5 or 6 campsites. There's a good stretch of mileage with campsites here, and then there's a little gap where there's not any, and then finally there's a little grouping right before Fox Creek Pass. We were told it's really nice up there, there's a lot of views, but there's only a few spots, so we're just kind of seeing how it looks as we get further up the trail, which is nice. Further we go today makes tomorrow easier, but it sure would be nice to get a spot with open views of Death Canyon shelf. Look at this. This is pretty glorious. It's pretty awesome up here. Yep. This is getting pretty damn impressive. So we stopped for lunch at a creek, got eaten alive by flies, and now we're about a mile from kind of the last group of campsites in this valley. So hoping to snag one up there. A group just kind of passed us within minutes of us having lunch, so we'll see where they end up. So there's a moose right behind that tree in the center, kind of. His head's sticking out the right side, barely, but you can see it shaking around. That was crazy what just happened.
Yeah.
All right, we got the last camp spot up here. We had a group of 4 guys right when we finished lunch. We hadn't seen anybody, and right when we finished lunch, they were right there when we got on the trail, and they were uncomfortably on our heels, and we let them pass just because it was kind of weird. And then we finally caught up to them like 100 yards down the way right now, and talked to some people, and this is the last spot. So.
No, I would like to make the chase.
Make the chase, please.
Trials there at the end. I had to climb up to
Yeah.
the
is a pretty nice spot.
Yeah.
All right, we are here. It is 4:30. One of the last camps before we head up the switchbacks tomorrow. Get up onto Death Canyon Shelf. Oh my God. Oh, that is so good. Delightfully refreshing. So the group that passed us, and then we passed them again, they're going up. And I guess it's not national park up there, it's wilderness, so you can have more availability of camping. Just straight up, get some good breakfast, and we'll head on up. So Joan,
Yes.
how did you like the hike today?
It was awesome. It was tough, especially when we had to kick it into high gear to beat the 4 guys here. But it was worth it, and it was great. Really good.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Chill master, grill master. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. What's better than this?
Not really much.
That was a nice hike into there.
Hell yeah.
The wildflowers.
Yeah, they were amazing. I mentioned I thought they might have been out of season already or a little bit late to the wildflowers, but as you can see right here across the log, there's some purples and some Indian paintbrush by this creek, but it was just blowing up. I think we're going to be in luck when we get to high elevations the rest of this trip. Their tent up there, they're chilling. And we got dinner soon. A tiny little tent. The golden hour is upon us. About to make some all-American burger works. Hydrate some beef, put in a tortilla. All-American burger works, mayo, mustard, ketchup, some relish. Jamie got some bacon going. These are delicious. Burger works. Yep.
Burger Works is killer.
Yeah. Don't know how they do that. The other beer drinking tonight is a Loveland Pineapple Milkshake IPA. Juicy hazy IPA brewed with Tahitian vanilla, lactose, pineapple puree, and natural pineapple flavor. We just shared it and it was delicious. I'm gonna pretty much call it for the first night here. Grand Teton Wilderness. It's super buggy out here. Just hung our food, unwinding, relaxing. It's a nice temperature. It's super buggy though again. It's ridiculous here. But we do have a spot on the creek. About 9 o'clock. Gonna get a good night's rest and start the morning. Breakfast, coffee, all the goods, and then head up that shelf over to the Alaska Basin tomorrow. Gonna get fully pitted. It's gonna do it for the first day here. It's an awesome day. Woke up down at Jamie and Jones and drove up, got our permit, and now we're here. Prime camp spot. And we're gonna have a good night's rest. So, talk to you in the morning. Good night. Good morning, and welcome to day 2 of our Grand Teton Wilderness backpack trip. I'm just kind of exploring this field here. All these flowers everywhere. Pretty ominous clouds up there. Looks pretty stormy. Didn't really expect that. The ranger said that there was maybe 20 to 40% chance of precipitation, but she didn't have any accumulation totals or anything like that, so I don't know if it was just going to be passing storms or what. Pretty much heading up this ridge right here and up onto the shelf, and then from there we're going to come back all the way along the shelf to the Alaska Basin. Personally, I had a great night sleeping. It wasn't too cold at all. I was actually in the sleeping bag with the bag zipped up for a lot of the night. There was one strange thing that happened, and I wish I could get my Fitbit to sync up because it tells me my heart rate in the night, but I woke up at about 12:45 and I heard something shuffling around the tent, and it was making really weird noises. I'm not familiar enough with the animal life out here, but it was kind of making like a a growling, clicking noise. I heard this thing outside my tent, and I actually like felt it push against my rain fly. It started pushing its head in against my tent, and I saw just like, you know, not a head necessarily, but something push against the fabric of my tent, and I could hear it breathing, and my heart instantly started racing, and I legit said, "Get away!" and pushed it. It was something big and heavy because it was literally pushing against my tent and making the whole thing lean almost. Besides that, it is a beautiful morning. So this is our basin. This is looking up towards the end of it. There are a ton of wildflowers right here. I mean, you can't really tell because the sun's not out, but they are everywhere. But again, these clouds over my shoulder here are pretty dark. So maybe we're gonna get some morning rain here. It's actually starting a little bit, so I'm gonna go head back into the trees at camp. Just make sure I got everything organized in case it does rain. Day 2, Grand Teton. Had a great spot last night. Get some coffee and some breakfast going. So we're going up to get the food. We put the food at least about 200 feet from our camp. Jamie meticulously hung his sack so critters couldn't get it. And then I had my bear canister right here. They look safe and sound. Nothing got to our food. This is a pretty cool spot right here. So I just walked across the path. There was a moose kind of off in these meadows yesterday. Yeah, beautiful creek. And I think that way back there, that might be one of the Tetons, not sure. So Jamie brought a coffee press. It's right here on the right. He already prepped it, let the ground soak up a little, and then you add water and then a filter and press it on down. So we wake up, start making a mess at camp. Just the way things go. Unload. Coffee, oatmeal, coffee.
Camp water all night, group water. And then you got the stereo pen for on the go.
Yep.
Clutch. Even if you're taking a big lunch break, you just fill up the bag, boom. Right? You know?
We are packed up, heading out from our first night here, Grand Teton Wilderness, heading up the Death Canyon Shelf. Got some switchbacks to start the day, but we had a really good night. Everybody slept well. I had an encounter with something. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it was what? It was you? Was it him? No. He was just sitting there next to Zippy. So it's about 10 o'clock. We're gonna go check out Alaska Basin. There's camping down there, but there's also a pass the ranger recommended that would kind of cut some miles for tomorrow as well and give us a really big open view. That's kind of dependent on if it's gonna be really windy or bad weather conditions. That should have really awesome views if we decide to do that. And it's still a little overcast, so it should be cool for first part of this hike. We get going.
Let's do it.
Let's get out of this bug nest. Leaving camp. Starting the trail. These wildflowers yesterday were beautiful with the sun on them in the evening. This whole basin was really nice. Kind of reminds me of 4-pass loop a little bit. Color combos. Great flowers. So this is quite a warm-up, quite a way to start your day. We walked probably 100, 200 yards and then just started up the slope. And we gained like 1,000 feet. It's steep right off the bat. Camp was actually hard to see, but straight ahead there's a dirt patch in the middle right there, right at the edge of the trees. And we've been just admiring this basin. That whole grassy ridge up there with all these wildflowers. There's just nobody around too. Makes it pretty awesome. Except for these jabronis. I think we're just about at the top of the shelf here. Got really steep this last little bit.
drive by?
Yep, drive by.
Drive by!
Drive by photo. Started Death Canyon Shelf. Some of these rocks are huge.
Right?
Looking for an easy access wafer. Snack time. It's a pretty good,
I go, I don't know what you mean.
I don't have it.
pretty good snack view. Look at these flowers though, come on. Is that real? Is that real? Death Canyon Shelf. This thing looks like King Koopa's shell or something. Really interesting rock. There's another one. Pretty cool.
Tag on your hiking videos to Delightful Mike.
Aw,
What's up?
I'm Delightful Mike. Delightful Mike? That can be
yeah.
Yeah, you call yourself Delightful Mike. Dude, I'll be delightful. You are delightful.
I also have a ton of trail mix. We need to get in on that so we can make that bag smaller.
Yes. Joan's trying to walk out of here with 2 pounds.
That tent's at least 3.
Yeah, give
Wow, look at the seed. The seed started to like open up inside of the apple. Look at
Coming full cycle.
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
Alright.
This is pretty cool. That's Death Canyon. And we actually started down way at the mouth, way out there.
Now you tear it off.
Yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Of course.
So Jamie's telling me giraffes did not evolve long necks to gather trees and leaves from high up, which I think everybody was taught. So this guy is pretty wild. We don't have internet, so we're gonna have to deal with this madness until now, until we get out.
Right.
I think we're almost out of the camping zone. Not sure if you saw my glacier video I put out a couple years back, but this really reminds me of 50 Mountain. It's a really cool shelf walk though. It's actually like 12 miles or so.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
So they attacked your gear?
Yep.
Yeah.
You saw his bag? Did you see his bag?
No.
I did. A little repair. Yeah, he fucked it up pretty good.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, they got shoot through the. Luckily, they didn't make it all the way to the hips.
Yeah. Crazy. Leaving the Death Shelf camping zone. Death Shelf. I was calling it Death Canyon Shelf, but it's just Death Shelf. Death Canyon, Death Shelf. Not Death Canyon Shelf.
No.
Do you get it? Did that make sense?
Just the shelf, bro.
Where the death occurred?
Or it could happen in the canyon.
It's pretty cool though. So we're gonna go about 0.3 up to that pass right behind Jaime, and then we're gonna be dropping into the Alaska Basin. Gonna have some cool lakes,
Yeah, snap that.
and we can camp in the Alaska Basin if we choose to. Yeah, some wicked wind up here. This is probably the last campsite before you head up. So if you're looking to camp up here, we're just about to the Mount Meek Pass. Pretty sure that's Mount Meek. Real summit might be like behind that, but that's at least kind of where you go. And we're going up there to the pass, and then we'll drop down. This wildflower field right there is amazing. So we're thinking hurricane straight ahead, right? And then we cascades like right at the base of the Tetons. So that's looking the way we came. That's officially the Grand Teton National Park. And now we are in the Jedediah Smith Wilderness, Caribou-Targhee National Forest. And this is looking where we're going. So we're about to get our look into the Alaska Basin, and we gotta descend in about 2 miles. We think Hurricane Pass might be straight ahead, which we're gonna be doing tomorrow or possibly today, we'll see. And it's been an outstanding day. It would really suck to be up here in inclement weather. You just have to hunker down at a campsite probably if there was storms coming through, because it's just very exposed. Making good time. Heading down the sheep steps. So we had lunch down here at the creek. Started to rain, as you can see. It's picking up a little bit. That's kind of looking the way the weather came, and it's looking a little rainy, but hopefully it'll pass. It's already looking lighter that way, so we weren't told crazy weather for any reason, but you never know up here. So we're gonna wait out a couple minutes and hit the trail again. We saw a couple guys go by right here. They're walking by. And there's actually two more down at this crossing, but it's been raining, so we don't know if these guys are day hiking or what. So we had a nice little lunch break. Started to rain in the middle, and so we'll see if the storms come through again. Hopefully if they do, they just come and go and don't linger around. We're supposed to be clear tonight and tomorrow, I think, so that'd be nice if this is just the monsoon. I think we're gonna shoot for Hurricane Pass. Go camp up there so we can get a head start on kind of tomorrow's route, which is going to be really big. So flashback to 2015, we're hunkered down. This is what started it all for me when we were up on Fancy Pass in the Holy Cross Wilderness. We saw lightning. I swear that lightning that we saw that day was 50 yards from where we were walking. Do you guys remember? You saw it hit the ground, right? Yeah.
Right in the, like, the little basin.
And it cracked. That's pretty rumbly. It cracked the second the bolt hit. The sound almost coincided. Just frightening as hell. And we were just waiting it out here. We got some poncho people here, guys. Here they are, walking through the middle of this. It just with lightning right above us. What are they doing? I say, no dog. Questionable decision to be made. You know. I'm holding an electric camera though in the middle of a lightning storm, so I don't know who's. At least we're sitting down. I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, if we get struck, at least we won't fall and hit our head.
Truth.
Is that a big problem?
And we'll get a really cool video out of this. All right, we are at the trail junction that heads up to the lakes and then ultimately the Static Peak Divide too, which would take you down into Death Canyon, a little shortcut, but. We came this way, we were hunkered down in the rain. It is now looking like blue skies and smiles up this way. Making a little crossing here. Pretty rocky little creek spot. Sure is nice everything's getting precipitation though. Stop the fire haze, stop the bugs. We were getting eaten alive last night. Hopefully we're gonna be up high tonight and bugs won't be an issue. All right, you two.
All right.
If there's a scale and there's a 10 and then there's a 1, where are we at?
I think we should turn it up to 11.
We made the decision to head up higher, maybe to Sunset Lake, and hopefully, ideally, Hurricane Pass, which will be really exposed above tree line. And if the weather, that looks amazing out there. Perfectly blue skies. And to be honest, I think the weather report did say some weather just coming in this afternoon, like monsoon stuff, and then it's supposed to clear out tonight and be sunny, and tomorrow sunny all day. So if this cleared out and we get on that pass and we get excellent views. So we are here leaving the Alaska Basin, headed up towards Sunset Lake and Hurricane Pass. The storm, we were hunkered down for a while. It has passed and clouds are going this way. Alaska Basin and all the lakes are kind of back in here a little bit. We didn't fully get to check them out, but skies are looking great. We got to get up another 1,000 or so and get up to this pass, which we're hoping to camp on. Way above tree line exposed, but if we got clear views, it's gonna be beautiful. Back at it climbing steep switchbacks. Beautiful. Everything just got a nice shine from the rain. Pretty special spot here. So I think this is gonna be a real steep, just push. Jamie and Joan are killing it. We'll get up there and then see what it looks like. But weather to the west, looking good. That looks like a straight, cold-blooded killer up there. Triathlete, destroyer. Chaco wearing. This dude's been wearing Chacos the whole time. Maniac. It'll make this one very easy. Just came from down there. All these switchbacks. Whew. This is the kind of terrible stuff we run into on the trail. Oh my God. So I think we're almost done with the switchbacks here, getting up onto the shelf with Sunset Lake. Just ran into a real nice couple. Gave us some info on wanting to camp at Hurricane Pass, and they said it's probably doable. I think we're gonna have some incredible views of the Tetons once we get up on this pass, and ultimately towards Cascade Canyon and Paintbrush, which we will be doing tomorrow. What's up, dude?
Where did you see people camping?
Oh, right down there, man. Like right over the ridge in the trees. There's some like red tents right there, dude.
Oh, yes.
So we were gonna take a swimmer if the clouds and everything were pleasant. So we might do that. So headed down to Sunset Lake. A couple people camping down here off the shore, but this is beautiful. The color of this thing's green and blue. Wow. Guess that's called Battleship Mountain. Straight ahead and wow. Look at this lake. We jumped in here at Sunset Lake. We're gonna fill up our water bags, platypuses, all that. We're gonna camp up where there's no water tonight. Make sure we chug a lot of it and just get prepared for what we need for coffee tomorrow and our food tonight. For the pass, it's supposed to have a great views looking over towards the Tetons, I think, where we're gonna camp. Not many people do it, I don't think, because it's so exposed, but we're hoping the weather's gonna hold through, and I think it will. This is our little spot. Swam in. Got our water for the night.
That was a nice little stop.
Coming up from Sunset Lake. Beautiful wildflowers. So we initially thought that was Hurricane Pass for a while. I think we're actually going to go up straight ahead and up on that shelf and go left, and then ultimately right again. When we actually were just coming over the saddle from the Death Canyon Shelf into the Alaska Basin a few hours ago, that was around like 1 o'clock, I think. We're actually way out over there, that saddle, way there. There's Sunset Lake. We just came along here through these meadows, wildflowers, beautiful, and then up that final steep trail right there. Now we gotta go up here. Woo-hoo. Just actually a pretty damn good spot. Look at this view for them. So they're gonna have a great night. Pretty awesome. just down there at that shelf. Came up these switchbacks. The final push. So we think we should be to the top of Hurricane Pass here in just a few minutes. Gonna set up camp and we're gonna see what the views look like on this side of the park. We got a lot of water and are expecting to be maybe above tree line and just kind of in the open. This is steep. We're at a little over 10,000 feet, but I've got 6 liters of water in my pack and still carrying 3 beers, all my food. It is steep. It's that final push though, until we get to the top and an amazing campsite and an amazing view. What a good idea.
Someone was thinking, like, put this right here.
Yeah, someone put this here for that reason. I think this might be the top. Hurricane Pass. There's the Grand. Oh, it's amazing. That thing's so big. Tetons, and this is where we're camping. This is the Schoolroom Glacier. Pretty cool water. That's the trail we're heading down. Then you drop down again past those rocks down into the actual South Fork of Cascade. So that's what we just came down. A couple switchbacks across the way. And there's the Schoolroom Glacier, and the lake is at the bottom of it. Might actually be clearing up as far as the haze. Might get some blue skies here. Beautiful morning. We just saw a trail worker. Pretty cool. Moving some slabs around, making it look nice and pretty. But look at this place this morning. It's pretty nice dropping into this basin in the morning. We got a lot of downhill to start off. But this place is really cool. That big glacier. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. I've heard that Paintbrush Canyon is awesome, as well as the south and north fork of the Cascade. We'll be checking those out. One of the options was to camp in the north fork of the Cascade rather than going up and over Paintbrush Divide today. But that just makes tomorrow a little bit less our day hiking out. Just came down some switchbacks. I didn't want to film too much by the trail crew, but they're keeping this trail nice. We are officially in the camping zone now of the South Fork of Cascade Canyon. So there's gonna be spots around. We just saw one, and we're gonna continue down to the very bottom of this trail. Still got a lot to drop. A couple of cool waterfalls here. This is called Cascade Canyon. A couple of these look like it'd be real nice to jump in later in the hot afternoon. Guess do it like that. This canyon has been kind of getting narrow during the waterfalls and steep, and then widens up into meadows. Pretty sure that's where we're going to be taking a left up that canyon, going to the North Fork of Cascade and then up to Paintbrush eventually. And then that way will take you out back to the trailhead of Cascade. And we're just about to drop down into this canyon. Pretty hazy today compared to the other days. That is for sure. And down in the jungle. So we are out of the South Fork of Cascade Canyon camping zone. And we should be at the trail split here pretty quick, where we're gonna go up towards the North Fork and eventually up to Paintbrush Divide. Just lost about 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So we are at the junction of Cascade North and South Fork, and there are a ton of people here. Barely seen anybody, so gonna be heading up. So we're starting up the North Fork of Cascade. We just dropped almost 3,000 feet to start our day. Got about 3,000 to the top of Paintbrush Divide. Gonna go check out Lake Solitude. And the haze seems to be disappearing. See blue skies. They made a lot of steps though, to make it Nice for hiking. Taking a breather. Grabbing some shade. Lots of people on the trail here. Just spoke to some nice folks down at the waterfall. The last like mile has been just steps.
Dude, we're stairmaster.
Not too bad. Yep. If you hit up that Stairmaster at the gym,
Dude,
you know this. Howdy. See now, folks, that's what you do not do. That's a no-no. People out here trying to enjoy this, and I gotta hear his shit-ass music. Lake Solitude, I feel, will not provide much solitude. The irony is painful. This is like Disneyland here. Lots of people. Panorama ding dong. And our trail's actually going up that way. We think Paintbrush Divide is right up there. So we're gonna have some lunch down at the lake. You can see that trail going. For sure need to get the chocos on and get the feet wet. So this is Lake Solitude. There's the Grand Teton. Just had lunch, filtered some water. We're gonna head up to Paintbrush Divide. Last big push, 1,600 vertical feet. Over, what was it, 2.1? Right? 2.1. Okay. We are starting up Paintbrush Divide. Very rocky. We'll change the dirt, I think. And then maybe back to rocks again. That's where we had lunch. That's looking down to the North Fork of the Cascade, where we came from. This has been one switchback all the way. Hasn't crossed once. From the very bottom. All the way. It's going to continue up and eventually cross once, twice, and we'll be up. Now it's starting to get real steep again. Nice and rocky. Pretty much a full 45-degree angle switchback. Oh, Jamie thought it was the first switchback. Denied. Still going up. What are your feelings about this hill?
Quite the bugger.
Agreed.
It's a bugger. I think we're about halfway.
Walking straight up the side of this wall.
It's another big switchback. Going up. It's where we were not even an hour ago. Just about to the top. All right, so we thought we were at the top and thought we were just gonna go over here to the left, but no, the trail goes up there and then probably switches back. That is gonna be a really cool place up there though. Wow. Can you take me higher? This is looking kinda north outside of what's on our map, but this is like the north part of the Teton Wilderness. This basin is beautiful down here. Continues to be steep. It's like a 14er, like a class 2 14er. Whew. Made it to the top of Paintbrush Divide. Starting to make our way down. We're gonna go down into this basin now. Making our way down Paintbrush Divide. I don't have any trekking poles. This is pretty slick. So that wasn't very nice. They just made us come down all this shit. So we just came down from there. That's Paintbrush Divide. That was probably the steepest descent we've had so far. Very loose rock. I think they're working on the trail actually right there.
Like one of those mountain goats.
Would be a nice little save.
Sure would.
Start up there.
Woo. Long way down. We are in camp finding mode. This is kind of like an open camping area. All sorts of little hills with rocks and little basins. So we decided to go down another little set of switchbacks farther down the upper paintbrush camping zone. There's a little lake and some more running water lower, so I think we'd rather have that than be up high, and that'll make less miles for tomorrow. We have engaged maximum camp sense finding abilities. Got our own little private lake. Jamie says he's the one who found the site. Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah. Yes. This is nice.
14.01 miles.
Yes. Nice. All right, found the spot for night number 3. Upper Paintbrush Canyon. Nice little spot off the trail. We got a little lake down the way. It's just a couple minutes. I set up my tent right here, kind of in this little rock area, and they got a big boulder over here to protect their tent from the wind as well. So this looks great. We're gonna get some views, some light on the walls in the morning and everything. And this is a Jamie in his natural environment expert camper. Look at him. He's making sure his sheath is clean. Look at him go. Oh, he's like superhero now. We are pretty much unwinding here. Had dinner, had dessert, had more dessert. It's about 8:30. Gonna be heading to bed pretty soon. There is a full moon tonight. Should be coming up here. And we've just made a mess of camp entirely. So gonna clean things up and head to bed pretty quick. I'm gonna go for my second round of coffee this morning. Already had 1 cup and oatmeal. This is our camp from night number 3. All right, we are packing up, doctoring up feet, organizing. Had a nice slow start to the morning, slept in a little bit. Gonna go check out Holly's Lake, maybe dip in. We saw it from afar, looked pretty nice. It's a little 0.3, so we'll probably drop packs. Today's gonna be about 6 miles, should be all downhill other than that. And yeah, it was a great night last night. I think everybody slept really well. I passed out almost instantly, and Jamie and Joan slept really well as well. So we should have a good day hiking out. Packs are really light, and then we get back to the vehicles and grab some good food, leaving camp. That's where Jamie and Joan had their tent. And I was right here. Heading out day 4 of our Grand Teton trip. It's about 6 or 7 miles down back to the trailhead. The very popular day hike trail, so I think we're gonna see a lot of people down here on the way out today. So we got to this point yesterday when we were coming down looking for camp, and it's the end of our zone, so we had to actually turn around and go back up. But there's a lake down here. It's Holly Lake's group site. It's not actually Holly Lake. Holly Lake is just about in the middle up there, about a couple hundred feet. So we're gonna go up there, check it out. But we got to this point yesterday and realized, well, crap, I gotta camp somewhere. There's a beautiful lake here, but it's out of our zone, and it's also the Holly Lake group site, so we can't reserve that either. So we drop packs. We are just heading up to Holly Lake.
This is so nice.
It's pretty nice. Now look that way and enjoy yourself.
We are headed down from upper paintbrush into the lower zone pretty quick, and ultimately out down by the lake. We went up to Holly's Lake, and my camera was about to die. I had flashing battery when I was walking up, so I didn't film much at all, but I got that video of Jamie jumping in, and we took a dip, but we are back headed down. It said it should be about 5 miles down to the bottom. I think we're going to be to the lower paintbrush sites pretty soon. It is getting really hot. Going through another boulder field, and then back into the forest. Lower paintbrush camping. What do you think about this majestic forest, Jamie?
Pretty majestic. On the majestic scale, I would rate its majesty in the upwards of 8 out of 10.
I'm just saying, there's fairies living down here.
Heading through this beautiful forest. I think we've got about a mile and a half, 2 miles to the trail junction with String Lake, and we're gonna go left, and that'll wrap us around to the car. Walking along the String Lake Trail. One of them, don't know where we are exactly. All comes back to a big parking lot. We've seen a lot of people. Kind of cooled down in the lake right here. And we're just about back. Guessing maybe 10 minutes. So we hear the hooting and hollering of parking lot activity. Jesus, that thing was digging into me. I got a crazy fly coming in hot, horse fly coming in hot. But we hear everything going on in the parking lot right now, so just about there. Get off of me! We are on pavement. We've made it. Now we have to go find our vehicle in this mess. If you're wondering what reality looks like after being out in the backcountry for 4 days, this is it. Yeah, we're just straight down here a ways. Wow. Saturday in Grand Teton, year after a pandemic. Yellow FJ, yellow FJ, yellow FJ, yellow FJ.
Ooh-wee.
One more.
Yes.
Yep.
What do we got, Jamie? I don't know, Michael.
We got some beers.
The brewmaster.
I love the Hatties. Dude, it is cold. So we got East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, lager rig tea.
I'll do a west.
You want to go West style? Sure.
Okay.
We are back to the trailhead where we parked our exit vehicle. 4 days, 3 nights. Grand Teton National Park and wilderness areas. The, what was it? The Jedediah Smith Caribou-Targhee Wilderness. And I got a Crooked Stave Juicy West IPA.
Same.
Juicy West, Juicy East. We got a couple more. But cheers to a great trip.
Well done.
Great friends. And
Biggie Smalls is better than Tupac, just saying.
ooh.
Right, man.
So we're just hanging out, and it was an amazing trip. We're tired. We're gonna get some good food later, clean up. Grand Teton 2021, an amazing trip. Are you looking for parking? I'm sorry, it's hard to find. There we are.
There she blows.
There she be. There's Cuddy's. I was there on another trip eating a Philly cheesesteak, which was quite delightful. But we are heading through the heart of Jackson. Lots of people in the heart of Jackson. We're gonna go get some food and maybe get some hot springing. Hello.
Oh, this is gonna feel so good, dude.
We went for a nice dip in the, what are they called? Astoria Hot Springs.
They're horrible, don't come.
We went for a dip in some hot springs for an hour, and now we're gonna cool off in the Snake River to balance out. Soak for an hour, muscles feel good, everything is tingly and delightful. Now we're gonna go cool off in the river for a minute, and then head back to Jamie and Jones, do some showering, and then we're gonna grab some delicious food. So, let's go see what this river's all about.
Taking a dipper in the Snake River. Woo! You're getting out there. Dum, dum, dee, dum.
Swimming exercise. Swimming exercise.